Peace and blessings, family. It is yours truly, Amar Mari. I am the founder of El Kebalam Unity Alliance. My queen, Amani Amari, is the co-founder. We focus on your spiritual, physical, and financial well-being. And on today, I would like to talk to you about maintaining your peace in your mind. There is a verse that I live by, and that is the peace that surpasses all understanding shall guard your heart and mind. The other verse is that, and this is what I say, is that your mind will be kept in perfect peace if you meditate on the truth. Again, your mind will be kept in perfect peace if you meditate on the truth. And how do I keep a sound mind? I like to share this. A lot of people, they are in awe about the things that I've been through in my life and still being in my right mind. It's first of all a gift from the Creator. You know, I do not hold on to things mentally. What I've learned how to do is to release. All right, to release so I can receive. Okay, so if you're holding on to negative thoughts, then how can you receive positivity when you're holding on to negativity? Okay, so how can you have peace in your mind if you're continually meditating on troublesome things? So what I've learned how to do is to focus on that which is positive, that which I know is what I stand upon, not what something looks like. Okay. Now I know that some have heard walk by faith and not by sight. Well, here's the reason why I disagree. Now I understand that mentally things look a certain way. But what I'm saying is that I personally have visions and I have dreams. So what I've seen in my visions and my dreams, I hold on to that because in my personal spiritual walk, I've experienced those things coming to pass. So I know when I see something, so it is. So I stand on that. See, when we start focusing on things that are not in line with what we have been told and what we know from the Spirit, that's when we began to falter. Because that's where our human nature starts kicking in at. When we've seen something or we've heard something in our spirit and it seems like it's taken an extensive period of time, what a lot of us do is we start doubting because it's not happening as soon as we thought that it would happen. So here's the thing. If you haven't been given literally a time frame, literally a month, a day, a year, okay? And you haven't heard nothing in your spirit, you haven't seen nothing in a vision or a dream, okay? Then that means that you have to be patient and wait on it, okay? I still believe in the scripture that says, though the vision may tarry, wait on it. For it shall not lie, for surely it shall come to pass. Right? See, it says wait. It's a reason. Matter of fact, I remember when I grew up and I attended a temple where they say tarry and wait for the Most High to come speak to you. Tarry, wait. You know, for the answer. Wait, don't move. You know, be still and know. Right? So these are things that I stand upon. These are principles that are spiritual principles. They're not restricted to religion, and a lot of people don't understand that. Okay? When you quote verses, something, oh, that's religion. No, it's not. No, it's not. You know what I'm saying? It is spiritual. When people began to evolve past, even people that's practitioners of religion, I guarantee you, as they continue to pray and as they continue to get closer with the Creator, they'll begin to move away from man-made doctrines and traditions, okay? It will help their minds to begin to evolve. Okay, see, for me, I refuse to go back. I have a peace now within myself that I refuse to go back to religion. I recognize it's about relationship. It's about getting to know who you are, getting to know the spirit, getting to know the one who created your soul, and to find out what your life path is here in this earth. And once you have come to the knowledge of that, regardless of what outsiders think, it's what you know on the inside, because you have inside information. Literally, you literally have inside information that you gain in your prayer life and meditation. And this message is for those who want to evolve and get to a place where they find mental stability and they're no longer troubled in their mind about what somebody is saying, about what somebody is doing. Okay. If you want to get broken free from man, okay, and when I say broken free from man, that includes yourself. Okay, that includes yourself. See, a lot of times when we say getting free from people, we think about someone other than ourselves. But no, we got to get free from ourselves too, because it's our own thoughts that incarcerate us. And it's our thoughts about ourselves. Really, it's not the thoughts about people, because understand, what people reflect, you do not have to be receptive to that reflection. Okay? You don't have to receive that. But see, listen, whatsoever you embrace is what's going to enter into your life. Okay? So you have to reject those thoughts. You have to deny even your own self when your own mind is telling you, no, it won't happen. Okay? You got to even tell yourself, yes, it will. You know, so we got to do mind exercises. See, some people, they think that, okay, because they pray, because they fast, and this is for spiritual people too. Some people don't understand that. Praying and fasting is not something that's restricted to religion. Once you begin to understand these things, once you begin to empty yourself out of religiosity and looking at things, in other words, in a man-made perspective, okay, you will begin to evolve in your consciousness. And a lot of these things that you subscribe to now, I promise you, they will not make sense. It will not make sense to you no more. I promise you, as you evolve in your consciousness, what you subscribe to now won't even make sense later, because you mature in your mentality. You began to walk in the spirit. Okay, these things are spiritually discerned. You can't understand these things with a natural mind. See, listen, it's just like when a child is born and the child leaves here. Okay, a lot of people, they say, well, if God is so good, then why did this baby, come into this world, and why did this baby get taken away from me? Okay, you have to understand that when we look at things with a natural perspective, we will never comprehend it, because it's our human emotion. It's our human nature. For instance, if you have a family member also that doesn't like you, that treats you ill, in your conscious mind, you think, well, wait a minute, that's my family. How can they treat me like that? How can they talk to me like that? See, human nature. But when you understand the spiritual aspect about it, that is something going on inside of that person internally. When you move away from the emotionalism and you start detaching yourself from it, you can start seeing things in a clearer perspective. And you'll move away from the emotionalism. And listen, this is the reason why that somebody who is not in your immediate family, not your spiritual family, we're going to talk about that very briefly here. Not somebody in your spiritual family, somebody in your immediate family. See, once you tap into the spirit, you start understanding spiritual things. This is the reason why when you meet someone, and it's like you knew them for your whole life, it's because it's spiritual. That's your spiritual family. See, what happens is we get so caught up in, that's my mama, that's my daddy, that's my uncle, that's my auntie, that's my cousin, that's my brother, that's my sister. That's my grandma, auntie, uncle, right? Okay, we get so caught up in that to where we totally overlook the fact that somebody's mental faculty is off. They're mentally disturbed. Why would somebody attempt to be intimately involved with their own family member? See, it's a mind problem that we're dealing with. It's mental. Even with racism, it's mental. All these things that we see in this world that's corrupt is rooted in the mind. This is the reason why I keep telling people, listen, corruption, a negative spirit, a negative spiritual force, people can call it whatever they want to. They can say, oh, that's sci-fi, that's not real. Listen, from my experience, from my understanding, I've dealt with negative energy forces. I've dealt with exorcisms. Okay, so this is the reason why I don't really pay too many people any mind that don't believe in that, far as me arguing with them about whether or not it's real. I'm not going to argue with them about their reality. I know what I've seen and I know what I experienced. I'm talking about not on the television, okay, in person. Me actually praying over someone and seeing them contorting and dealing with this negative energy force. See, this is the reason why I keep telling people that you can keep thinking that being a person of Afrocentric outwardness is getting you somewhere. It's not. Changing your clothes is not going to deal with your internal issues. Okay? This is what people need to understand. We wrestle not against flesh and blood. It is the truth. You got to understand it is a spiritual force that's influencing the flesh. If the spirit left the flesh, if your soul left your body, it would drop to the ground. There's no life there, which lets me know that it's not the flesh of the man, it's the spirit in the man. What's driving the person to do the racial things that they do? It's the mindset of the man. It's what that man and woman and child have been taught into. It's a mindset. It's a spell cast on them. Just like it's a spell cast on our brothers and sisters and elders and young people who look at us as each other's enemy. It's a spell cast on us. We don't love ourselves. We hate ourselves. This is why we rob, we steal, we kill. It's deeper than racism. It's a spiritual thing because the psyche is the mind. You can't see the mind, but you can see the reaction of the mind. The mind, the brain sends signals to the body, just like my hands moving, my mouth is talking, my eyes blinking, everything. The mind is sending signals, okay? And then thus there's a reaction with the body. It's the same thing with the spirit, okay? With action, there's something behind the action. There's a thought, okay, behind the action, okay? So that means what influences the thought? It's information, it's teaching, okay? So I was taught as a child for me to wash behind my ears, for me to clean the side of my ears, for me to brush all those things that I do, I have been taught. So it's information that influences my actions. So what we see in this world today is a mental problem that is influencing a person to do corrupt things. Okay? So how do we then, in this midst of this world of chaos, with all these things going on around us, how do we maintain our peace? It's by getting understanding. See, that's the reason why it says a peace that surpasses what? All understanding shall guard your heart and your what? Mind. Right? So how do we get to this point? It's information, spiritual teaching. Because sometimes people try to handle spiritual issues with natural things. In other words, picking up a gun, okay, putting up their fist. You can't beat the corruption out of somebody. You can't shoot the corruption out of somebody. Because the proof is if they still live and their heart is still corrupt, they still will maintain a corrupt life. I've seen it before. I've seen gangsters get shot and go right back out in the corner after they get well and go right back to doing corrupt things. So this I know firsthand. Okay? Changing a geographical location of a thief, you can put them in a totally different continent and they still going to be a thief. We see that even with racism. No matter where you go, the racist is the racist. Why? Because it's a mindset. It was something that they were taught into. So how do we then not succumb to these corrupt things in this world? It's by getting information, spiritual teaching, and the implementation of that teaching will bring transformation in our life. So many people, the reason why that they suffer mentally, the reason why they go through so much is because they're not dealing with the inner man. They're not dealing with the inner man. Oh, I dress like I'm an African. I pump my fist in the air, black power. I say all these things, but I haven't dealt with, I was raped, I was molested, my daddy left me, okay? I've been abandoned, I've been abused. See, we focus so much on the outside to where we neglect the inside. We think that wearing braids is supposed to bring healing, or wearing an ankh is supposed to be healing. Bring healing. No, it's not enough to pray. It's not enough to meditate. You got to deny yourself. You have to discipline yourself mentally. See, I'm not one of these people who's going to come on here and blow smoke to you because I have been set free in my mind. This is how I know. I don't play these fictitious and these philosophical and theological and put these facades up to you and no, try to dress it up. No, you're not going to get that from me. Okay, I don't play these games. People go through the motions. That's the reason why some people, when they go to a place called church or a mosque or a shrine, they come out the same person. You know why? Because they're going through the motions. They're not dealing with their mind. You have to deal with yourself. And yourself is not this flesh. It's what's inside of you. It's your psyche. It's the way that you think. You have to deal with your thinking. Listen, this is the reason why we rose above poverty, my queen and all of us who have. It's not because of us buying into the lie that, well, I'm an African man. For my queen case, or I'm an African woman. Oh, I was born in the ghetto. Oh, I was born in this zip code. See, the reason why people are limited is because they're limited in their minds. They buy into the lies. See, the reason why I have victory in my life is because of my mindset. It's my thinking. I have better because I think better. I do better because I think better. I live better because I think better. If you have a poverty mindset, you'll live in poverty. And I'm talking about spiritually and physically. Once you get free in your mind, you got to protect your peace. See, I don't know no man after the flesh. I know him after the spirit. See, some people, they quote the Honorable Dr. Martin Luther King like they really understand what he's saying. When he said that I judge no man by the content of the, by the pigmentation of their skin, but by the content of their character. You know why? Because the flesh is not that man or that woman. The spirit inside of the man, their conduct is what shows you the type of person they are. Not what pigmentation they are, not what ethnicity that they are. All right. It's a man's conduct that shows you the character of a man and a woman. See, when we start being engulfed in these brainwashed ideologies, that skin has something to do with all these things, we're missing it. You're warring against a mindset. You're not warring against somebody's skin. You're warring against a mindset. And that mindset is what's influencing the conduct of who we know as today as a racist. Okay? The mindset is what's influencing the drug dealer and the gangster and the robbers and the thieves, okay? And the prostitutes and, you know, the alcoholic and the drug addicts. Those who are in depression, those who have low self-esteem. All of these things stem from the mind. See, I'm a solutionary. I don't just sit up here and talk about the problem. I help people to better understand, why am I in this condition? You have generational curses with people with poverty in their family. You know why? Who has any financial literacy? So you have a domino effect of financial ignorance that's being passed down. Who in the family has found out anything educationally as it relates to finances to educate themselves so they in turn can disseminate that information to their children, and then the children can pass it on to the grandchildren and so forth and so on. So see, really, it's not our skin that has us in the place that we're in. It's because we haven't dived within. Our skin is not the problem. See, again, that's an illusion. It's an illusion. It's not your gender that's the problem. It's an illusion. Okay? If you accept that, then that is your reality. That's what's real to you. And you're never going to evolve past that. Because your mind, in your mind, that's what you have accepted. That's your expected end. That's what you expect in your life. You don't expect yourself to go nowhere because you're African, because you're a male, because you're a female, because you grew up in this type of family, in this type of neighborhood, in this type of zip code. Because you look like this, because you shape like this. Because your nose looks like this, because your hair is styled like this. All of those things are illusions. It's a facade. You have to protect your peace. And how do you do that? By understanding that there's more than meets the eye. There's more than meets the eye what you see in the mirror. There's more than meets the eye what you see on television. There's more than meets the eye about what you read. There's more to you than what you think. There's more to you than the car that you drive, the house that you live in, the neighborhood that you live in, the clothes that you wear, the jewelry that you have, the perfume and the cologne and the body oils. There's more to you than that. Your life doesn't stop there. No, your life starts within. You live your life within and then out. Because see, if you have peace within, no matter what's going on outside of you, it can never disturb what's on the inside of you, because people are disturbed because they're mentally disturbed. See, some people think that mentally disturbed means that somebody's crazy. No. You can still be mentally disturbed by not having peace. Because you're constantly focusing on negative things. And you have no peace within because you're constantly focusing on negative things. You're constantly exposing yourself to negative energy. You see? Mentally ill doesn't necessarily mean that you're crazy. No, if you're not walking in the spirit, that's why there's an illness there as well. that's the reason why you can't evolve and you can't become who you really are, because you keep looking at what you can see in the physical and you forget about the spiritual. This is the reason why that people that are wealthy, they still commit suicide. Money does not give you peace. Hear me very clearly. It could give you financial peace, but it cannot give you internal peace. It cannot eradicate the mental trauma that you are experiencing and what you have experienced in your life. So in order for you to find that peace, you got to dive within. You got to go within yourself. You have to understand that. Okay? And once you find that, don't let nobody disturb you. Don't allow nobody to cause you to lose your footing. Don't allow people that try to make you think, oh, she and he is running away from, what's really going on. No. It's called knowing what's happening. You got to know what tools to use, and you got to know what war. You got to know what you're fighting against. Okay? And so it will behoove you to better understand the why about the condition of your life. Why are you always angry all the time? Why do you have an attitude? Why do you lash out at people the way that you do? Why are you always broke? Why is your pockets always looking funny? Why is it that you worry all the time? Why you stress out so much? Why is your social life the way it is? Whether it's in your marriage or dating or your relationship with family members and friends and co-workers, why is your life so chaotic? I'm here to tell you, you got to start going within. Because see, what happens is, and this is what harms a lot of people, is because they don't believe in the spirit. I'm telling you what I know. I see people struggling all the time. You know why? Because they don't deal with the spiritual realm. They don't deal with what's really going on. And that's the reason why these negative energy forces are still attached to people's lives and people's families. And there's generational molestation and incarceration and drug addiction and alcoholism. Okay? And generational poverty, spiritually and financially. You know why? Because people don't want to deal with what's going on in the spirit. They refuse. Oh, that's a bunch of spookism. That's a bunch of foolishness. I'm telling you what I know. I am telling you from personal experience. When the spiritual negative energy forces had detached themselves, I'm not saying I never went through anything. What I'm telling you is that I have a peace that surpasses all understanding, that's keeping my heart and mind, because I tapped into the spiritual realm. The reason why I'm a good father to my son, now listen, my father had abandoned me. My mother had given me away. See, I'm not just running my mouth talking. Okay? My mother and father grew up in a certain way in their life. Okay? That's not the way I live. At the age I'm at right now, my mother and father was nowhere near living the way I'm living. My father abandoned me. I didn't abandon my son. I know of my father. I knew who my father was when I seen him, but I didn't really have a relationship with my father. My son and I have a relationship. I didn't give my son away. I uphold my responsibilities. I didn't grow up on, as an adult, I was never on welfare. All praises be. Okay? There's elders in my family that didn't own anything. And there's ownership in my life. Okay, my father didn't leave me no inheritance. There's life insurance on me. I hope you understand where I'm going. I'm not boasting here. I'm hoping you're understanding the point that I'm making. It is your option for you to continue that vicious cycle, that curse. That is up to you to accept that. And it's up to you to reject it. It's up to you to break that cycle off of your life. It doesn't have to remain that way. It does not have to be that way. It does not. What you think is what you attract into your life. And it's very imperative and it's critical that you grasp this concept and you understand this. So I appreciate you tuning in, and hopefully something was said today that will encourage you for you to dive in and to find out. Listen, I don't recommend anything for anyone. You have to walk your own path. Okay? You have to walk your own path. What may work for me may not work for the next man. Some people subscribe to Islam, Christianity, Voodoo, Ifa, Buddhism. You have to find your path, and you have to find what works for you. And you have to seek out the help that you need spiritually in order for you to be able to get to that next level, in order for you to be able to dive in and find out, how can I find this peace within myself? Okay? You got to search that out for you. What does peace look like to you? That's what you have to do. Peace, love, power. Love you.